This is the Claude Code Desktop App, and right now it's running my code, previewing my app, managing my terminal, all at the same time. No VS Code, no terminal windows, no CLI tools, and no extensions. Everything we're looking at is happening inside the Claude Desktop App. A few weeks ago, it couldn't do any of this, and now I'm using it as my full development environment, and I haven't opened my IDE in days. Let me show you my workflow for using Claude Code within the Claude Desktop App. The Claude Desktop App is available on macOS and Windows, so simply go to this URL and download and install it. Once installation completes, you'll be greeted with this sexy interface. This is Claude Code running within the Claude Desktop App, and I absolutely love it. We'll go through all of the features within this video. First things first, we can show and hide the sidebar simply by clicking on this button. What's really cool is we can run multiple agents and multiple projects at the same time. For instance, here I've got one session that's running on the AutoForge project that's currently reviewing a pull request. Then I have another agent working on the bucket list app, all in parallel. And I'll also show you in this video how you can kick off cloud agents at the same time. And to start a new session, all we have to do is click on New Session. Now this is where the fun starts. The first thing we can do is change our permissions mode. So we can set it to ask permissions, which means Claude will ask our permission before making any changes or running any commands. We can also enable auto accept edits, which means Claude will make changes to files, but it will still ask our permission to run certain commands. We can also switch to planning mode, where the agent won't make any changes, and we can use this to discuss an implementation plan and the features we want to implement. Finally, we have bypass permissions mode. This is the equivalent of running Claude Code with dangerously skip permissions enabled. So this means Claude Code will continue working on your project and running commands without ever stopping to ask your permission. Then we also have some other capabilities. When we click on more options, we can view all the available / commands. We can also attach files or images. And under connectors, we can integrate Claude Code with external applications like Gmail. Or if we have the Claude browser extension installed, we can enable this as well. Of course, if we click on Manage Connectors, we can view and manage all of our connectors. And then we have plugins, and I'm a really big fan of this feature. This is probably the easiest way to add agent skills and MCP servers to Claude Code. And now we have access to an entire marketplace full of plugins and MCP servers. And one skill I absolutely love is the front-end design skill, which we will have a look at in this video. Of course, you can also enable superpowers, which teaches Claude brainstorming, sub-agent-driven development, with built-in code review, systematic debugging, and red-green test-driven development. There are so many impressive skills and tools available in this platform. The Claude Code Desktop App also supports work trees, which means Claude Code will create an isolated copy of our project and make its changes there, without affecting the current repository. And once those changes are done, we can simply merge those changes back into our project. And then we can also run Claude Code locally, we can add an SSH connection, we can add remote control, or we can run Claude Code in the cloud, which is really cool. This means we can have local agents running on our code base, and we can also kick off background agents that run in the cloud to continue working on our changes. So we can actually close down Claude Desktop, switch off our PC, those agents will keep running in the background. And just a side note, if you don't see this bypass permissions option, what you first need to do is go to your settings, then under Claude Code, all you have to do is enable this setting, allow bypass permissions mode. Now enough talk, let's learn all of these features by building an application in Claude Code Desktop. Quick shout out to Combai, the sponsor of today's video. If you've ever used Claude Code or Cursor to build something and the front end looks like AI slop, then this is for you. Coding agents are great at logic, backends, and databases, but when it comes to building beautiful, polished UIs, they often fall short. Combai is an AI agent built specifically for front-end development. It plugs right into Claude Code, Cursor, or whatever IDE you're already using. And it works with any front-end stack, React, Next.js, mobile, whatever you use. It has native Figma integration, so it can actually understand designs. Combai has built-in browser capabilities, so it can visually see and edit what it's building. And you can keep using your existing tools for the backend. Combai just handles the front-end side. I mean, just look at this. This site was built entirely with Combai. You can start using Combine absolutely free or upgrade to their Pro plan for only $20 per month. If you want to take your web app to the next level, then check out Combine using the link in the description below. Thanks to Combine for sponsoring this video. First things first, let's open up a new project. Now, before we make any code changes, let's plan out our application. What I really like about using Claude Desktop is that we instantly have access to the chat interface. So I like to use this just to brainstorm my app. Like, hey there, I need you to come up with a product requirements document for this app idea that I have. As a YouTuber, I want something that I can use to easily generate YouTube thumbnails. I'm thinking we can build a web app that uses the Nano Banana Pro model to generate these thumbnails for me. We can keep it really simple, just a Next.js application that I'll use locally on my own machine. I'm not planning to deploy it at this stage. Right, so Claude did some research and it found that the correct name for Nano Banana Pro is actually Gemini 3 Pro Image Preview, which is all correct. And it created this PRD document for our app called ThumbForge. So of course I can now go through this document and ask Claude to make any edits if I want. But for demo purposes, I'll simply copy this PRD and let's jump back into Claude Code. Now back in Claude Code, what I'll do is change to plan mode. And let's say, right, I need you to build this application for me. And then let's paste in that entire PRD and let's send this. We can just approve this workspace. And that simply gives Claude Code permission to work within that folder. And I'll just approve this request. Great, so Claude is now creating our implementation plan. Alright, so the cool thing about planning mode is Claude will ask us follow-up questions. Like, which Gemini model would you like to use for image generation? Your PRD mentions Gemini 3 Pro Image Preview, but research suggests that Gemini 2.0 Flash is the widely available one for image gen right now. So sometimes Claude will give you these kinds of answers, which is not really accurate. It's obviously pulling from its training data. So context is always important. So what I like to do is to kind of test this out myself using something like AI Studio, just to learn how image generation works using Nano Banana Pro. And from here, I can see that the correct model name is Gemini 3 Pro Image Preview. In fact, we can give way better context by grabbing an example code snippet, because this code snippet shows the package that needs to be installed, what the environment variable should be, and how to actually use this SDK. So I'm simply going to copy this code. Then I could simply select this option because it is correct, but I'm going to take it a step further by typing something else. Like, we should definitely go with Gemini 3 Pro, as this is the latest model. In fact, here's a code snippet for your reference on how to use this model. Then let's paste in all of that code, and we'll send this. When building anything with AI agents, context is king. If you can, provide documentation, URLs, code snippets, anything that can help the agent out. And now we can see the full implementation plan. Compared to what you would see in the terminal, this is just so much better. We can also expand this to get an even better view. So now we can simply go through this implementation plan, and if we need to request any changes, we can simply continue chatting to Claude. Or, if you're happy, simply click on Approve Claude's Plan and start coding. Right, so Claude switched over to Ask Permissions mode, and it also created this to-do list. Now, I could simply go and approve all of these commands, but I'm going to switch over to Bypass Permissions mode. This will give us this outline to show that we are now in YOLO mode. And we also get this banner saying that this is high risk. Claude can take actions without asking. So if you prefer to handhold Claude through this process, then simply use Auto Accept Edits. But I've been working with Claude Code enough to know that it will do the right thing in this project. While Claude is running, let's have a look at what else we can do. So we can rename these sessions as well. So I'm going to rename this to Build Thumbnail Generator. In the top right, we also have access to this preview button. Now, at the moment, this won't really do anything, as Claude is still scaffolding the actual project structure. But once the web app is up and running, we'll be able to preview it in this browser window. We'll get back to this once our project has been set up. What we can also do is click on Plan, and now we can view our implementation plan again. And if we really want to jump back into the code editor, we can easily do that as well. So we have this button where we can select any of the IDEs installed on our machine, like VS Code or Cursor. or we can simply continue the session in Claude Code Web. So if I click on VS Code right now, it will open up VS Code and I can view all of the files being created by the agent. Oh, and by the way, if you are curious about the changes being made, you can click on any of these right entries. When you expand any of these, you can see the actual code change that was made. So you get these git divs where you can view the changes in full. And what's also really cool is you can give Claude additional feedback on any of these changes by clicking on this little orange button next to a line of code. And you could just type something like what this, and Claude will action it. And now that the basic project structure is in place, we can see our live app in this preview pane. So yes, we can definitely make this larger and smaller. This way we can test the responsiveness of the app as well. What's also cool is that Claude is taking screenshots of the app itself and reviewing the app in real time. You do have to enable this though. Under this drop-down, you have to enable auto verify. So whenever Claude Code makes a change to your web app, it will open it up in the browser, take screenshots, and adjust it accordingly. If you want to view this in your own browser, you can simply click on this URL, and that will open up a new browser session where you can play with the app yourself. Now you will notice that the text is really small because I actually had to zoom out in order for this preview window to work correctly. So I am going to zoom in again so that you guys can see what I'm doing, but this does break the preview window. So I'm actually just going to hide that for now so that we can actually see this in action. Right, cool. So Claude just completed all of these changes. And now we have something that we have to do ourselves. We have to provide our Gemini API key. Now, I will not recommend giving this to Claude directly for security's sake. I do recommend opening up the .env file yourself and making that edit. So for this, I am going to jump to VS Code. Then Claude already created this .env.local file with this Gemini API key variable. So I'm simply going to replace this with my actual API key and then save this change. So I just zoomed out again so that we can actually see this preview window. And let's get Claude to do the very first few tests. Hey, please can you use the preview window to run through this entire process end to end to check that the app is actually working. This is so cool. Claude is now populating all of these different fields. Now it moved on to the persona screen. It chose one variant to generate. And as we can see in the terminal, there was actually an error message. And the cool thing about Claude Code Desktop is that it's able to review any error logs in the console and in the terminal, and then resolve these issues itself. If I zoom in for a second, you can see that it actually read the actual server logs. So it found the error, and now it's fixing the bug itself. And now it's trying to generate the image again. And there we go. We have our thumbnail. How cool is that? Now we're going to look at a few really cool features in this app. For this, I'm going to push all of our changes to a GitHub repository. So for the repository name, I'll just call it something like thumbnail generator. I'll just set this to private. Let's create a repo. Then I'm going to copy this URL. Then I'm going to say, all right, so it seems like the basic project is now functioning correctly. Please can you push all of this code up to our GitHub repository? Then it's pasted in that URL and send it. And now we should be able to see our code in this GitHub repository, which we do. Awesome. Now, because we've got our code sitting in the GitHub repository, we can run our agents in the cloud as well. And we can run local agents in parallel with agents in the cloud actually. Let me show you both. So we've got this main thread that we use to build the initial app. Now, let's say I want to make two changes. For the first one, I'm going to select my project folder, and then I'm going to get this agent to redesign the UI of our application. At the moment, it definitely looks like AI slop. So I'm going to add a plugin. Let's add this front-end design skill. And now we have the front-end design skill installed. In fact, if we look at the project folder and we go to Claude, we can see the skills folder with our front-end design skill. So now we can ask this agent, please use your front-end design skill to redesign the look and feel of this app. Let's send this. And what's cool is while this is running, we can now kick off another session, and now we can get an agent to run in the cloud instance to continue making changes as well. So I'm actually going to switch from local mode to cloud environment. And let's say for generating thumbnails, we need to be careful about the resolution. Gemini supports 1K, 2K, and 4K resolutions. For thumbnails, we only want to use 1K images. So it's a simple enough change. Then we also have to select our repository, like our thumbnail generator. Let's send this. For local agents, you will see this little desktop icon. For cloud agents, you will see this little cloud icon. And I find it so useful to be able to work on multiple changes at the same time. And of course, we can work on different projects as well, all in parallel. The cloud agent completed its work, and the way we merge this back into our project is to create a pull request. So let's click on Create PR. This will create a brand new pull request in our GitHub repository with a detailed summary on all the changes, on everything that was changed. Let's merge this pull request. Let's confirm the merge. We can now delete this branch. And once we're done with this change, we can simply archive the session. This also includes a few advanced features, like if we go to add SSH connection, we can connect Claude Code Desktop to a remote server like a VPS, and we can control Claude Code on that server. We can also add remote control, and all we have to do is go to a folder with our project, and then we can run this command. So for interest's sake, let's actually just add it to our current project, and we do have to enable this on our account. So what do you think about the Claude Code Desktop app? Is this something that you would try out yourself? Or are you sticking to the CLI tool or the VS Code extension? If you want to take your Claude Code skills to the next level, then consider joining my school community at Agentic Labs. We have structured courses on all sorts of AI tools, and you get access to a community of like-minded people who love to build solutions using AI. And I also have live Q&A sessions every Wednesday. And the first 1,000 members will lock in their subscription at only $7 per month. I hope to see you in the community or in the next video. Bye bye.